Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fandango Indie Movie Guide. I'm Alicia Malone, and think of me as your guide through the smaller movies that are out in theatres and at home this week. Let's start with a film that I saw and loved at Sundance. It's Band-Aid, written by, directed by, and starring Zoe Lister-Jones.
It's one dish.
One dish.
You happen to be quite the dish Nazi, I might add. When did you, everything is like, this is not clean?
That's super offensive, because I come from a long line of Holocaust survivors.
How could there be a long line of Holocaust survivors?
She and Adam Pally play a married couple who can't stop fighting, so they decide to channel their fights into creating songs. This is a really sweet, funny movie that also tells some truths about relationships. I love that Zoe Lister-Jones used an all-female crew, and I also like the chemistry between her and Adam Pally.
Play a song.
I'm in number for your mood. This is what it means to be a dude. That you can act and be so lewd.
You get so hangry and so rude. You better change your attitude.
And it's not just about relationships, it also speaks volumes about being creative. It also features Fred Armisen in the type of quirky, strange role that only he can pull off. Make sure you check out Band-Aid. It's in limited theaters this weekend.
Have some ranch. Yeah,
Ooh,
there we go.
that's a sweet bite.
That's the Tom Petty bite.
The next movie is also written by, directed by, and starring a great comedic actor. It is by Demetri Martin and it's called Dean. A son dealing with the loss of his mother. Kevin Kline is the father dealing with the loss of his wife, and they both do it in very different ways. The character of Dean is a cartoonist. He decides to get out of town and go to Los Angeles for an interview, and there he meets a lovely woman played by the always excellent Gillian Jacobs.
Hey there.
Hi.
You really ate it back there. I saw the whole thing.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming up to let me know. Thank you for... Yeah, that was me.
Meanwhile, Kevin Kline's character is trying to sell his house, trying to move on, and he has a lovely romance with a real estate agent played by Mary Steenburgen.
How do I break the news to my son? He's in LA. I don't know what he's doing.
Maybe he's just trying to figure himself out.
The scenes between Mary and Kevin are my favorite. Walks that line between being very honest about grief and also being very funny at the same time, and that is hard to do. Demetri Martin, I think, is such a talent. I have several of his books, so I recommend going out to see Dean. It's out in limited theaters this weekend.
Nice view.
Yeah, and if you put your cheek against the window, you can see Central Park.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now to a very different film, a documentary called Letters from Baghdad. This one might be a little bit harder to find because it's only opening in New York this week, but I want to put this on your radar because it is fascinating. It's narrated by Tilda Swinton, who plays the voice of Gertrude Bell. Gertrude was the most powerful woman in the British Empire back in her day. She was a spy, an archaeologist, an explorer. She taught herself Persian and then grabbed a camel and rode off into the sunset in the desert. The documentary combines diary entries, letters, a lot of photographs, plus dramatized interviews. There's actors who play characters speaking about Gertrude. And at the center of it all is the voice of Tilda Swinton, who is perfect to play this female trailblazer that you may not have heard of.
Not very like a woman, you know?
Do you know what I really want is a wife to look after my household and my clothes. I quite understand why men out here marry anyone who turns up.
Letters from Baghdad is an interesting subject told in a very fascinating way. Note it down and make sure you see it when it comes to your town or when it comes to video on demand.
Don't tell anyone that the me they knew will not come back in the me that returns. Perhaps they will not find out.
Now there's a couple of films that I want to mention for you to watch at home this weekend. The first is available on Fandango now. It's called Raw. This was one of my favorite films that I saw at film festivals last year. It's a coming-of-age cannibal story, all told through the eyes of this girl who goes off to college. She has this self-awakening where she goes from being a vegetarian to enjoying meat to eating people. But all of that is just a symbol for the wider story, which is about a woman coming into her own. It's about female relationships and sibling rivalry. It's all in French, it's beautifully made. And don't believe people that say it's too gross out, it's too sickening, it's too gory to watch, because I'm a big wuss and I found it fine. You can see Raw on Fandango now, right now. Another film available to watch at home is the documentary I Am Heath Ledger. This is a really sweet tribute to an artist who was gone way too soon. I had no idea that Heath Ledger filmed a lot of stuff himself. He always had a camera with him. He was documenting his time when he first moved to LA. He was documenting his friends, and he was creating these little scenarios, these little acting exercises.
Hello. We're gonna go on a mission right now. So will you come with me? Oh, you will.
You may have a vision of Heath Ledger being very intense, you know, he threw himself into his roles, but overall what you get from the film is just how fun-loving and full of life he was. The movie doesn't dwell in his death, it is more about his life, and it combines interviews with many of his friends like Naomi Watts, Ben Mendelsohn.
Before Brokeback Mountain came out, it would have been unthinkable to have a romantic tragedy involving two gay cowboys. This is one of the biggest heartthrobs on earth, taking on that character. That's an artist.
See I Am Heath Ledger. It's available on video on demand right now.
This is like taking it to the next level. Like, you're going to be nominated for this, I'm telling you right now. And he just smiled.
Lots of great films for you to delve into this weekend in theaters. Make sure you check out the relationship drama comedy Band-Aid, or the sweet comedy drama all about grief, Dean. If you're in New York, make sure you catch Letters from Baghdad. At home, check out the cannibal coming-of-age story, Raw, or see the touching tribute documentary, I Am Heath Ledger. Let me know what you watch. I always love to hear from you. You can find me on Twitter at Alicia Malone. I'll see you soon. Bye! 2 hands.